What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're doing not another, I guess the first round of States question and answer for 2016. Yeah, we made a whole year around. We started out States, now we're back at States. But we're joined with 5 different people. If you just introduce yourself really quickly.
Brett, player from Missouri.
I'm Jake. I'm a player from Mississippi.
I'm Isaiah. I'm a player from Mississippi as well.
I'm Brandon. I'm from Texas.
And I'm William, and I'm also from Texas.
Alright, and I'm sorry I'm being central, I guess, biased, whatever, but Missouri has states, Mississippi has states, and Texas has states, so why not have them all on here, you know? Sorry if you're from the West or East Coast, just, didn't work out for you. Well, let's go over some questions. The first question is going to be Mega Ray, yay or nay. I'm not sure if anybody has played Mega Ray here.
I think it's pretty good. I think the deck's in Standard, the deck's power has always sort of revolved around Night March's popularity, and so I don't really think there's a world where you're consistently beating Night March. But outside of that, or I guess Trevenant is a new deck, which probably beats you, but everything else is probably pretty good. I'm sure you beat Evital and Greninja, stuff like that, so it's not bad.
I think it's really good. I think it beats, yeah, as long as you're fine taking lots of Night March and beat almost everything else. I think you can even beat Trevor when you go first.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty strong, I feel.
The energy removal might be a problem. I don't know what the Standard looks like, but the deck that got second at Oregon Regionals had a focus on energy removal. And so you could certainly play it like that in Standard, but I don't know what's popular, and I don't know if anyone knows what the popular version of Trevenant will be at States, but that's just a thought.
I feel like if someone hits the right matchups in a tournament, then they could definitely go pretty far with that deck. But if they're playing against Night March all day, or something that has heavy energy removal, there could be problems.
Alright. So it's kind of a question that a lot of people have asked. Decks to expect going into week 1. We'll make William answer first.
Dex to expect, Yveltal, obviously. I think that deck's strong and doesn't lose anything and it gains a ton. There's plenty of ways to play it between Mega Elixir, the more classic Gallade and Zoroark. I don't know which one's best. I haven't really tested Yveltal, but I would definitely expect a ton of that. I think Trevenant is seeing some hype. I'm not sure exactly how good the deck is. I feel like if it doesn't go first, it loses a lot of its power, and that could be something really big. Night March, obviously. Yeah, those are my big 3 probably.
How about everybody else?
I think, yeah, I agree. Battle's going to be pretty dominant. Night March, and I think Trevenant will see a lot of play, but I don't think it'll do very well because I think just Battle's just everywhere and it's going to beat it. If someone day 2 or in Florida, some of the Trevenant players didn't play any Battle. They played one, so that could happen also. But yeah.
I think it'll be a big melting pot of the top 8 decks that were at Florida and Oregon, because with not that much information on the brand new set, people are kind of just going to either A, play Yveltal, Night March, or Trevenant, or B, look at what did well there and kind of see how that transpires into Standard.
I have a feeling that we'll see some Mega Manectric variants too, with different things, just because of the power of Rough Seas and Manectric cycling them out. And then the Jolteon is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something to expect with Mega Manectric, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, that all sounds right. I think everyone's more or less expecting the same thing. Night March and Evital, probably almost a guarantee to be the most popular decks, but outside of that, it's sort of a question mark. Greninja is probably, good enough for people to play it. You might see that one round at a States or something. I think Entei's still pretty good. I've never liked the deck. I've never really thought it was great, but it's certainly good. like a solid tier 2, and I'm sure people are still playing that. Anything
I'm
else?
reading Groudon.
Maybe. I don't know.
Huh.
I guess I've never really thought about it since it sort of just disappeared after Worlds, but I like forget that it's standard legal. But I don't know. Groudon was never very good against Night March, and especially now, like at Worlds, people played Landorus EX and stuff like that, sort of as a way to try to get cheap prizes off Night March, and then just use their focus sashes to offset the prize exchange. And now they don't have that option. So, I don't know. But I don't know enough about Groudon in Standard to really have more than just, like, a thought as opposed to, like, a tested opinion.
Okay. Alright, so I guess the next question, we talked a lot about Evital, some about Trevenant, and I can't do kind of point out that Dark decks do kind of just beat Trevenant, but is there any way that Trevenant can beat the Darkrai decks?
Oh. Alright, so we tested this yesterday. It's really bad, but it's just something to think about. We put a 1-1 Jolteon line into Trevenant.
And it works surprisingly well.
And, like, it worked, but I didn't feel like it should have worked.
Yeah, because, like, against the Evital EX, you could hit him for 120 with the Tree Slam.
And
if
then
you
the
have a-
bursting balloon would be like, hit me. I dare you.
So it's kind of like that, but in the great scheme of things, it didn't work out that overly well. Because they can either kill it.
I don't actually know how the cards interact or how the breaks work. I've like never seen one or played one at a tournament. You keep the lightning typing even if you're the break, or do you have to be not the break?
We didn't exactly know on that really for sure, so we just didn't break.
I think give me color. It's your stage 1.
But I'm pretty sure you keep the lightning typing if
I
you
don't
do
know.
break.
I don't think you're.
I'm not
stage
sure
one anymore.
if break evolution if that's a new thing or if it's just kind of like if it's like because level X you were still a basic Pokemon even with the level X card. But I don't know if break is technically not stage 1. But just a thought. I don't have a
I think if you can't Wally into a break, then it should still count as stage 1. I don't know. Well, we should figure that out.
But you can fall
eventually,
into a break.
Probably before the
Yeah, you can. So I think it
Yeah.
does change. You
I
lose
think
your stage.
I think it's a whole new evolution because you can.
If I had to guess, I would say that it is, but I'm not a judge, so I wouldn't. I'm not the final say, but that would just be my like intuition.
So if you're going to states and you plan on playing Trevenant with Jolteon, make sure you find out if you should break or not for your attack.
I'm trying to find out on the compendium.
Oh well, good luck with that.
Alright.
All right, so let's go. I mean, Britt kind of talked about Greninja, but I mean, do we expect Greninja to be like really big at states, or you think it's gonna be like something not really good?
I think the biggest thing holding Greninja back is the lack of a standardized list. Like, no one, from what I've seen, has really put a good list together and put it to use in standard.
True.
I would maybe disagree with that, basically just with my sort of take on it. Like, I posted a list in my last 6 prizes article, and just like a day before, like Alex Hill posted a list, and our lists were like, you know, maybe 5 cards different. And I've seen another list that was like, you know, probably less than 7 cards different. And that isn't to say that this list is good or how it should look, but I think that they sort of will all more or less look the same. There seemed to me, and maybe you have more information being on Facebook, like I don't get to see the Verbank stuff anymore, so maybe there's more there. But I think the lists all sort of are kind of uniform already. But my thing with Greninja is sort of that it's like not great. It's really good when it goes off, but it's on the more inconsistent side of things. Like the way I sort of see it, it sets up similarly to like a Crobat deck in the sense that you have to evolve a lot. But the Crobat decks, you know, always have a better attacker, always have a backup EX attacker that's really good, like Seismitoad, Manectric, Landorus, stuff like that. But Greninja doesn't have that. And so it's a very similar process. You have to kind of manually evolve multiple lines, and but you're slow, you're not doing anything. Like imagine playing a Seismitoad or a Crobat deck without having your like EX pairing, and I think that's sort of how Greninja works. And so some matchups like you'll get really good starts, and you'll have like 4 evolutions on your 3rd turn or something, and then sometimes you'll get 2 Froakie into play, you'll evolve 1, it'll get Lysandered, and then you'll like have and just sort of that line of play, and that's sort of been my experience with the deck. But I do think it has some good matchups, but I wouldn't advise playing it.
I mean, if you are the Greninja hype, there's been 2 states before this weekend, and only 1 Greninja cut out of the tops. I mean, out of each one, or like 1 cut out of the 2 days, I guess, out of the 2 top 8s. So, but it did make it to the finals, but then it lost. So,
What did it lose to?
it lost to Vespa Queen, Valplume.
Sounds rough.
Yeah.
The deck will lose its item lock, I'm sure, like any deck that has any sort of item lock.
Yeah, true. Alright, so the next question is, does Mega Mewtwo have a place at States? And I know, Brett, you're friends with Meese, and he's been playing the Mega Mewtwo deck. Has he talked about anything about it standard?
Not recently, but I know his sort of rationale with the deck is that it beat everything but Night March. And so I would say that's still probably mostly true. But I think Night March is just like well positioned to be like super popular. Like for whatever reason, he said it wasn't all that popular in Europe, or at least in his area, I believe. But with the Fighting Belt or the Fury Fighting Belt or whatever it's called, like I think Night March will just continue to be 40% of the field at almost like every tournament. It might be different in other areas, but I swear, every cities I went to, like, you were going to play Night March. You were probably going to play Night March more than once, even if it was just a 5-round cities. And so I don't really expect that to change.
Yeah, same thing in Texas.
You play Night March every tournament, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, so basically, if you think Night March is going to be big, don't play Mega Mewtwo. But if it's not going to be big for some reason, then maybe play Mega Mewtwo. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see Trevenant being able to beat it. Maybe not. I guess I don't really know what the like standard list is. Mies was all about like not even trying to beat Night March, and so he just played Psychic Energies and stuff like that. But I know a lot of people favored like Zoroark and Oblivion Wing Yveltal, which are good supplementary attackers, but also just like maybe this is good enough to beat Night March, but I don't know.
The Psychic Energy, I think you can beat Trevenant with just Damage Swamp.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. Or that's what I was thinking. That's why I sort of corrected myself. With Damage Swap, like Trevenant's never going to be able to kill you, but if you're playing like the other one,
Yeah.
you'll probably lose to just having weakness and getting burst ballooned or whatever.
Alright, so the next question is, I mean, it's another Greninja question. I don't know if anybody has the answer or not, but can Greninja beat Garb and Hex Maniac decks?
No. It can be X, I guess, but it definitely can't be a Garbodor deck.
Yeah, I don't. That just doesn't seem like a good matchup.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Hex Maniac is not like a deck per se, unless they're referring to like the Rayquaza deck. But yeah, like Hex Maniac isn't enough for you to say like Greninja is just not worth even considering playing. Like right, like in the same way that like people didn't stop playing Crobat because Hex Maniac existed, but like Garbodor decks is a separate question. Garbodor decks just like they're not only are they gonna stop you from like accomplishing everything that you need to, but also the way that Garbodor decks are built is that they're prepared to, attach a tool every turn. So like even if you're playing Megaphone and Xerosic, like the Garbodor deck probably has enough tools anyways. So just a thought, especially in Greninja, which is like I think you play Startling Megaphone for sure in almost every deck right now, but like one startling megaphone isn't going to let you beat Garbodor.
Now, the good thing about Greninja is you can one-shot a Garbodor. Like, you can use the second attack on the Muscle Man, do 100 damage, knock out another Garbodor. If they don't have another one down, then maybe it might be possible, but it's still, like...
It's tough. Like,
Yeah.
certainly, you'll take games, you'll win games, you'll maybe even win a series. That's the thing with, like, 2 out of 3. You gotta do it multiple times.
True.
You gotta kill Garbodor multiple times, and I think that's way easier said than done.
Okay.
Yeah, you just get a lot with that happen. Just through card draw and whatnot.
That's true. Alright, so we have Jake back, and Jake, did you find the ruling for the break Jolteon question?
Yeah, the break Pokemon isn't technically still a stage 1 Pokemon. It's not a stage 2, it's technically a break evolution. And so since Jolteon specifies just stage 1, it doesn't work for Trevenant Break. But you can just stay the regular Trevenant.
That's true. Alright, well there you go. But let's see. The next question is, so obviously YZG or Yveltal Zoroark Gallade is a good deck choice, but how does it beat Toad?
Baby Battle.
Big Evital EX. Hitting Toads really hard.
Yep. R.I.P. Jake again. Alright, cool.
I can understand,
It
like,
doesn't seem that hard because Toad's damage is so low, especially like even lower now if they're playing the fighting belt instead. So they only do 40, and so if you get your fighting belts down on Oblivion Wing like really early, like that's a long trade. And you're doing lots of damage, and you basically only have to have like 1 energy every turn. So you be conservative by all means. Don't lose all your energy, but if you get Oblivion Wing every turn, they only have 4 hammers, and they were not going to hit all of them.
they can play Rough Seas on their Titan too. That can like help, but I think you just Oblivion Wing to a Biggie Battle and sweep them later.
Yeah, like there's the exchange of a Fury Belted Toad and a Fury Belted Yveltal, like kind of isn't going to go anywhere fast, and so both Pokemon take lots of hits, especially if you can. So Toad has Scoop Ups and Heal, and you can just like, swap Yveltals, and then I think eventually you'll just get the energy you need and just kill them, and then after that, there's like not a lot you can do.
Pokemon on
Yeah.
Vibrit.
Yeah, KO.
Alright, let's see. So the next question, a lot of people have been hyping Jolteon EX. It's obviously like what, $40, $50 card right now? Is Jolteon EX good though? That's the question.
Yes. Absolutely. Like the card, just like the existence of the card has like drastically already changed, what certain decks look like. So, like Night March has to play Vespiquen now. Like that's what I would expect. I don't think any like intelligent Night March player like is going to go into a tournament without an answer to Jolteon. So it doesn't have to be Vespiquen. It could be, Gallade or Garchomp, stuff like that. But that wasn't the case at Cities, right? At Cities, the best way to play Night March was with Melodic. And so, like, just, we don't even have results, and, like, deck lists have already shifted. And so that's my answer. It could change. People could just never play it. I mean, I haven't been able to find Generations anywhere, so I don't currently own any of those cards, and so there might be people in a similar position show up at estates and no one has found Generations cards, and so that could be something that happens, but I don't know. I think it's a good card. I'm a fan. It's not like the end-all be-all or not good enough to be a deck on its own, like I've seen some people talk about, but I'm a fan. I think it's quite good.
I think it's really good, but I definitely don't think it can be a deck on its own. It's just like more a support to something, really. Like in like Mega Mewtwo, you could run it, I'm saying, or like in the Nectric, it's definitely not its own thing. But it's very good, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see it being like on its own, but like maybe a Tekken Mega Manectric, or like if someone wants to get fancy and like run it in like a Night March deck or a Vespiquen deck and just make their 3 extra energies lightning. That'd be interesting. That's not a good idea though. So yeah.
He's got all these ideas, but they just never work out.
That's what you do. Just answer problems until I find a good
and then
enough one.
and then eventually we realized that just the normal list is the best.
All right. So thoughts on Mega Sceptile? Why have we not seen it make cut? Why hasn't it cut?
I don't know. I think it's pretty good, actually.
It's just like, okay, I played against it at regionals, and I know this is expanded, but like, if you can, like trainer lock is a problem for them sometimes, because if you can deny their area doses, and then they can't play, well, if you can deny area doses against Mega Sceptile, because in standard there is no laser, but they can't poison, and they don't do a lot of damage. Oh wait, we're talking about Mega Sceptile,
Yeah,
aren't we?
Mega
Yeah.
Sceptile, not Sceptile X.
Okay. Wait, what is that?
It does 100 for 2, and you can attach up to 2 energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon.
No, not to one.
And if it gets attached to it, yeah, to 1.
No, it's to two different ones.
You can split them, or you can attach one if you want.
Two different ones.
No, 1.
You can do whatever you want with them. But attach to
Anyways, you get to heal them if you do.
Oh, yeah.
But if you have like 2 grass energies, if you have 2
Yeah.
grass energies, you can put on 2 different Pokemon if you want to, or put 2 on 1, like Cantu said. It's up to you.
That's really good. I didn't know that. I thought it was just 2-on-1, like Verzion or something, but from the hand. I didn't know that.
It's right, Cantu. We have it right?
Yeah, you can attach. You can only attach one if you want. Also, you can do as many as you want. Put them anywhere on the bench, and then you heal the damage.
Yeah, you heal all the damage too as well.
I don't know. Like, I don't think the reason it hasn't cut, I think, is just because no one is playing it. Like, I think it was really good at the start of Cities, but it just got scared off by Entei, and a lot of people, like myself included, just like forgot that it even existed. Like, someone brought up Mega Sceptile to me earlier this week, and I was just like, oh yeah, that does sound pretty good, but I just completely forgot about it and never played against it. Never thought about playing it just because Entei was so scary. But I don't think Entei is going to be as popular as it was. It could be, but I think that was the deck's main weakness. And then in Expanded, it's bad because of Flareon. Like, Flareon's the biggest deck, so you can't play it there, clearly. And so that's why. So I think in the right metagame, it could be really good.
Mega
You can see so
Rayquaza can hit the one shot and it can't hit.
Yeah. I mean, I think Mega Rayquaza sort of is always gonna have an advantage against other Mega decks. Like even Mega Manectric to an extent. Like when I was testing for Worlds, I think we went pretty positive against Mega Manectric. Like it really depended on who went first, but even that, like the turbo damage is really good.
Yeah.
So that's just my thought.
So I guess the answer is nobody's playing Mega Sceptile, and that's why it hasn't done so well. Suppose, like we'll see. Maybe somebody will figure out the code to Mega Sceptile.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like the Revitalizer card seems really good in any grass deck too. So again, if you found Generations and have that card, then good on you. But I do not.
All right. So for Max, what deck from Cities gained the most hype from Breakpoint? I mean, the obvious 2 answers should be like Greninja and Trevenant, like, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, Trevenant obviously I would say Greninja didn't exist, but so I guess yeah. But Trevenant, I guess Gengar, yeah. It got the most of people still play Gengar even at all.
Yeah.
We got all gamed, I guess, that Darkrai. It's pretty good.
And Mega Elixir.
Yeah, Max Elixir's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, Max.
But I don't even know if
Oscar.
that many in that are just like a focus on 90x attackers, like with Zork and DCs, more so.
Yeah. Anybody else think that any new cards or any new decks gained for Breakpoint or any hyped?
I think Night March gets more hyped. I think the Fury Belt solves a lot of things for that deck. Like during Standard at Cities, I think that you could have put Crobat into almost any deck, didn't matter what you paired it with. It could have been something like absurd, like Trevenant EX. You know, something just ridiculous. And with like a good Crobat line, like I think you would beat Night March like almost every time. Like it just didn't matter. And so that's not the case anymore, clearly. And so I think that's a big deal for Night March and as well for Crobat. Like I don't think Crobat decks are going to be very popular this weekend, but Night March definitely is. So.
So I guess Aromatisse actually gained a lot and gained what Tribute Belt and Max Potion.
True. Yeah. That's right. All right. So, the next question is Night March truly viable with so many bad matchups?
What bad matchups?
That's the question.
That's my answer. Like I don't really know what.
I guess in hindsight he thinks that like Trevenant's probably a bad matchup. He probably thinks Greninja's a bad matchup. Evital's probably a bad matchup. That's what he's probably thinking, right?
Evital's not bad anymore because of Fury Belt, honestly.
I think
Yeah.
Evital is even better for Night March with the inclusion of Fury Belt.
Yeah, like if Night March is playing Vespiquen, then I think they're definitely favored because Vespiquen is sort of problematic for Evital to deal with. Like if you're smart with your bench, you can't stream Gallade realistically, and Vespiquen can kill Gallade very easily, and so that's a big concern. And so Trevenant, yeah, like if that's sort of a coin flip, and I wouldn't call a coin flip a bad matchup. It's not something that I want to deal with, but like if Night March was beating the Trevenant deck that made top 8 at Worlds, then Night March is going to be fine against this Trevenant deck too. Like it's sword, and now you've got more tools. You've got Hex Maniac now, so that's a consideration as well. But I
And
wouldn't.
Lysander gets
Yeah, and you have the Lysander option too. Like again, like don't want to play that matchup if I'm the Night March player, but like you'll win it. You could easily win a 2 out of 3.
You do have to watch out for bursting balloons, though. I think that makes things weird for sure.
Yeah.
I think like the rest of the questions, top 3 decks going to week 1. We already answered that one. I don't know if anybody wants to answer this question, but if tomorrow was States, what deck would you be playing?
From Groudon.
Solid.
Yeah, that's fine.
I really like Groudon too, actually.
I'm not sure. Either Aromatisse or Rayquaza.
I still like Raichu Bats.
I'd probably either play Trevenant or Night March.
I think Aromatisse Giratina is really good right now because just it beats Night March because they don't even run basic energy anymore a lot of times because they rely on puzzle time and DCEs. And just Max Potion, not many things one shot right now outside of the fact of Mega Rayquaza and Giratina takes care of the Night March one shot problem. So I think that's really strong.
I think I'll stick with the boring answer. I would probably play Yveltal Gallade. I think it's pretty good against. Like it's one of those decks, and this is sort of how I thought about Evital last year for States. It's like it's not good against anything, but it's also not really bad against anything, which I think like when that's the case, when almost all of your matchups are 50-50, then just like if you make more optimal plays more often than all of your opponents, then like you're ever so slightly favored like in every game. And so that's sort of the mentality that I would have with it. So even if like I'm playing it's 50-50s, 55-45s, or 45-55s like all day, just like not every person I play, certainly some of them, but not all of them are going to be able to play like perfectly or close to perfectly. I'm not saying that I will play that well either, but just like I've played long enough that I'm not going to screw up on an Ultra Ball, or I'm less likely to screw up on an Ultra Ball compared to someone with less experience. And so that's why I really like the deck. There's nothing going into the tournament where I'm like I wouldn't want to play against that. Like I'll take any matchup, and so that's some confidence that I think is really positive. If you feel that way about your deck, then and you're not wrong. So I could be super wrong here. Or there's a sleeper deck that just destroys Evital. But that's my attitude towards it, anyways.
Sceptile.
I mean, again, like I could see. I don't know. I've never played with or against it, but I could see Mega Sceptile beating you pretty easily. But it doesn't sound horrible. Like they're not a lightning Pokemon. or whatever.
I'm gonna give my answer. A real answer. Right now, the only deck I have built currently is Sidestone Giratina, and if it was tomorrow, it's 7 o'clock. I gotta drive like 3.5 hours to Mississippi. Looks like I'm playing Sidestone Giratina tomorrow. If that was the case. Alright, oh, here's a question for Cantu and Will, whoever wants to answer this. When is Brad getting a haircut?
I know Will's his hairstylist actually. So
Yeah, I cut all his hair, so you know. I don't know. I told him to go get a real haircut. He wanted me to cut his hair, and I thought he was nuts. So I don't know. You ask him.
So if Brad could be like either tomorrow or like a year. Who knows?
Yeah, just depends.
Alright, alright, we're gonna get fancy here. I know Britt doesn't know what this card does, but I hope the other four know what these do, because I know they looked into these kind of things. Alright, what do you think about the new Regirock EX? Now, I know it's not states, but somebody asked about it.
What does it do?
What does it do?
Oh, never mind. Alright, Cantu, don't let me down. Don't let me down, Cantu.
I don't know. I don't look at new cards.
Wait, I can look this up.
Alright, I'll tell you what it does.
I think it does a lot of damage for like.
It's a
3
fighting
fighting.
Pokemon that gives all your fighting Pokemon 10 more. They do 10 more
Oh
damage.
yeah,
It's like a
yeah,
Deoxys.
I saw that.
So it's like Deoxys.
It's like a Deoxys for your fighting Pokemon, basically.
Or Machamp. Isn't that what Machamp did? But it was just a stage 2.
Yeah, but this is only plus 10 instead of plus 30.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know Machamp was that much.
Champ is plus 20.
Oh, plus 10. Whatever. Shut up, Cantu.
Is it good? Is that the question, or just or general thoughts?
Yeah, what do you think about it?
Does it
That's good.
attack? Are you ever going to attack with it?
No.
Oh. I wouldn't say that's very good. Maybe in Standard there's something I'm not thinking about, but like thinking in Expanded, the only fighting deck that is any good is, well, I guess Groudon's really good. But Groudon doesn't need damage modifiers. Groudon just kills everything. And so the only other fighting deck is like Landorus, Crobat, and you sort of... Crobat is kind of the same thing, but not like a 3 retreat EX. It's a free retreat non-EX. So it's kind of like polar opposites. So that's my general thought, but maybe it's good. I think there's like a Zygarde that's fighting or something, so maybe it works with that. But I don't know. I've seen some of the scans, just not all of them.
I don't know what other support fighting gets. Like that they could get something that could push Regirock and whatever attacker you decide to use over the edge. So like it's hard to analyze in a vacuum.
That effect is very good, I would say, but I don't know if there's anything to support it. Yeah.
It's definitely like gonna be. It's definitely to hype up Zygarde. Like Zygarde is like has 3 attacks. Their first one's like 20 plus 20. There's a stadium in play, but then you got Fighting Stadium, then you got Strong Energy, and then you got Regirock. I mean, obviously.
Doesn't it have like G Booster, but
Yeah,
like
it's got G
not
Booster.
G Booster?
Yeah.
It's just like a tool. You can play like 4 of them.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I would think you could play like Max Elixir and Landorus and stuff.
And
The
Carby.
baby Landorus.
Carving.
Dude, y'all laugh. I'm telling you. Alright. Alright, how do you feel about Jolteon? How do you feel about Trevenant? How do you feel about Trevenant? Decks from... Okay, here's I'm gonna edit this question. It's my first state's tournament. What can I expect?
Play some Pokemon.
Fair enough.
Depends on what state they're going to exactly. It's like Texas, very long day. It's like a regional
Don't go to
thing.
Texas. Yeah, that's not a great first state's experience. I would say.
Might as well go to a regionals.
Yeah, no kidding.
You come to Mississippi, there'd be like 20 of us there probably.
Yeah,
I would say,
It's like-
20 people and maybe a cow.
it's like Texas cities and Mississippi states.
Not even.
Yeah, not even.
I don't know.
Large cities, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, states really aren't that distinguishable from cities. So even if it's your first states, if you've played cities, then like expect that with like maybe another round, if that. Missouri was 6 rounds last year and was basically just a normal size cities, and I don't really expect that to be any different this year.
True. Yeah.
So, if you played those, you sort of know what works and what doesn't, but just, the usual shtick. Get some sleep, be hydrated, don't, eat something, but don't like overeat, blah, 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 blah.
All right. Here's my own question. When you're waking up in the morning, you're getting breakfast. What do you eat for breakfast going to states?
Whatever's
Eggs.
Nothing. I cannot eat before tournaments. Like, I don't know what it is.
Whatever's
I just
free.
can't eat until after.
What'd you say, Canty?
I said usually whatever is free in the hotel.
Yeah, I usually don't eat. I mean, I usually don't have an appetite when it comes to a tournament. But like honestly, you know, everyone's different, and just know what works and what doesn't. So some people would be like, only eat fruit, only drink water. But just like I don't know, if you want to go to McDonald's or Waffle House and get something greasy, then by all means do it. That stuff's good. But
Yeah, I was definitely gonna say like,
just whatever floats your boat. I definitely don't like only, you know, I'm definitely not like, oh, I can only have this banana and a yogurt. I'll eat whatever I want, but as that turns out, whatever I want is usually nothing at a tournament. So
like how Britt just gave advice to eat before a tournament. Then he says he doesn't need anything. Doesn't even take his own advice.
I just think everyone's different. So I'm just sort of trying to preach that message, not my own thing. So I know what works for me doesn't necessarily work for other people.
I gotta have like Taco Bell in the morning. Like if I'm going to tournament, gotta have some Taco Bell.
Taco Bell breakfast sucks. I don't know what you're talking about. I love Taco Bell. It's not their breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's we can discuss that on a later questionnaire. We can just do a fast food only question episode.
Dude, I'm down. I would be down to answer.
No,
that.
I would be down too. I'm a self-proclaimed expert on the matter, so I have a vast opinion on all things junk and fast food related.
Oh, okay. All right, guys. Well, I don't have any more questions. Does anybody else want to ask any questions or say anything before we head out?
Let's talk about Giovanni's game. All right, wait. So I know against Trevenant, a lot of people have been talking about like just shaman looping. Have you heard of that? Yeah. And because like they'll never be able to hit the math. But I thought of something for a Trevenant player. So if anyone decides to play Trevenant, they could play one Giovanni scheme. So then they do the 30 spread. Then they have to bring up the shaman, and then they can hit for 80 with Giovanni's scheme to break the lock, like that loop.
That's probably pretty good.
No, it's not. Be quiet.
It's not. Why isn't it good? I don't know enough. I included a Trevenant list in my last
I'm
6.
gonna tell you why his thing's bad. Because all you have
That
to
didn't
do
have an answer to the
is-
shaman loop.
is you have a shaman, and then alright, shaman's your only Pokemon, and then I don't know. That's all I got.
But I don't actually know. I know all I really know is that like Tarbell was like a big brat. What is like the actual ruling of the shaman and Burst Balloon? I don't actually like know the story. I just know there was something about that.
So technically, the shaman takes the 60 damage from the burst balloon, but doesn't get KO'd and gets returned back into your hand like Yuxi used to.
Right, you would finish the attack before the damage gets.
Yeah.
You would check for damage.
Before in between turns.
Okay, that's just good to know. I didn't actually know what happened.
I got it. What you do is you just don't put down to the shaman. You put a shaman down, sky return to a new shaman, then you sky return new shaman, and you never put down 2 shaman. Your Giovanni scheme doesn't work.
That's when Judge comes into
Yeah,
play.
that's when Judge like wrecks your world.
All right, look.
That sounds pretty hard to do.
If you want to go in this theory, watch me and World Run Heretic. We play this match, and I win in this theory because you play like multiple shamans and 4 ultra balls and Night March, so you should be okay.
Did you open Shaman? Don't you like have to open Shaman?
Yeah, because you can give away a Night March attacker. But
Oh yeah, I guess that's
so
true.
a better option, and if you watch my Team Fish Knuckles channel, you should headringer their shaman. Then they're forced to DC it, but then you use Rosic to DC away, and then you take a knockout.
Is Headringer standard or Headringer and Zerosic standard
Yeah.
in the Trevenant list?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they're standard, but they're on my list.
Word.
I would say they're standard.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. So if
All right.
you're worried about the
Headringers.
shaman loop, just play headringers and Zerosics, and I promise you're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Giovanni's sounded pretty good to me, and that's like one card versus like several. Like you're never gonna only play one Headringer.
Just play like 2. I think that's fine.
Yeah. But Headringer is also useful in other matchups too.
Yeah,
Like,
true. That's true.
Giovanni's also draw supporting.
Yeah.
Technically.
I played Giovanni at a Cities, and I never ever got to use the damage thing. It was just like a bad Bianca or whatever the entire tournament.
Hey, but did you win that tournament?
I did.
That's all that matters.
And Absol. Absol's interesting.
Ooh,
Yeah, Absol seems to serve a similar purpose as the Giovanni.
I personally don't like Wobbuffet in my Trevenant list, but that's a whole different story to talk about.
Get
Are you playing like lots of energy removal, or just nah? You don't need it.
The list I post online doesn't have energy removal, but the list now definitely has a lot of energy.
Don't you want Wobbuffets for like Groudon? Like, doesn't that help your Groudon matchup?
I mean, I think you probably wouldn't Groudon either way. That's pretty all.
Really? I'm not sure. I haven't really done anything with.
I think you just have so many turns of just like attack on Trevenant, you should just eventually just win.
Also, I wouldn't worry about taking for Groudon, honestly. I wouldn't expect to play one.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe now. Maybe if I go to Mississippi, Isaiah and Jake are both playing Groudon, I gotta worry about this now.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, wait, you won.
But I mean, Jake's also told me like a lot of different decks as well, so, you know.
Yeah, boy.
Alright, guys. Well, anybody else have any more questions or any more thoughts before we head out?
Zatu?
Good.
Zatu. I don't even know what that card does.
You'll find out in State Squeaky.
I won't be in any of your states unless you come to Tennessee.
At least you rearrange the top 5 of your deck or your opponent's deck for one colorless.
Sure.
So you do that, and then you play Trick Shovels and Bumblebee, and you let them draw the cards that are really bad, start the cards that are good with Bumblebee, and then you take them out.
I already had to play a Meowstic deck with Trick Shovels. I can't play this stuff. I can't do Zatu and stuff as well.
Oh, yes.
Can't Glameow and I can't Glameow Delinquent. Well, oh, that'd be really good if you can get the Delinquent Glameow combo off, and then you get the Zatu out the next turn, and then you control the top 5.
No, Zatu's even better because it has an attack in its hand. Is like you discard a trainer card from your opponent's hand, so you can red card them, delinquent them, and discard their entire hand when they keep their supporter.
Okay. Well, there we go, guys. That's the play. Red card, Delinquent, Zatu.
That's
Yep.
horrifying.
Yeah.
It doesn't
you have
sound terrible. I don't know. There have been decks like that in the past that have been quite good.
Also-
Zatu is an ability or an attack?
It's an attack.
The attack rearranges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
either your deck or your
Okay.
opponent's.
Well, that's considerably less good. There was a Slow King from it was in Call of Legends. I don't remember where it initially was, but you could rearrange your top 3 or your opponent's top 3, and it was good. People played it in like Gengar occasionally.
Yep.
Because you would just feed them trainers. You would always make them draw a trainer card, and then you would poltergeist for more. I thought it was good.
Only we had it now.
Zatu seems like one of those things I would never play, but I'd be kind of scared to play against.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty good. I don't
Just
know.
like Glameow.
I'm not considering it or anything, but I could. I don't know. That seems like the kind of thing that like Klaczynski would like. He sort of has a knack for gimmicks like that. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if he like had one of those decks. Like he might not be playing it at a tournament, but he might have it on him for fun games.
Jason's so fixed right now playing base set stuff, he doesn't even know what cards do nowadays, I bet.
I mean, that's also probably true.
Alright, well, Brandon, you have anything else to say weird before we head out?
I have things we'd like to say all day, but I mean, we gotta end it sometime.
Oh my goodness. So watch out if you're going to States, Cantu, you can pull out Tool Drop again, all we know, so. It can convince you at 3 a.m. to play Tool Drop, that's all we know, kids, so.
Hey, I didn't do bad.
Alright,
Top
Brad.
32.
Huh?
Top 32 with Tool Drop. That's not bad.
I started off okay. I was 6-0.
Alright guys, well hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks everybody joining. Hopefully learn something new about states, but we'll see everybody, not these, we'll have a new cast of people for next week. But hopefully everybody does good this weekend. Oh, also, a lot of people have asked me, how we're gonna do interviews for states, and we're only gonna do first and second place. I know a lot of people are gonna be bummed out because we're not doing top 8, but
I got top 8 at a 6-round cities though. Come on, or a 6-round states.
but
You
I
got
can't do like 15 videos on Evotal because we made top 8. I'm sorry, like just can't do it. And I have a job this time around. Unlike last year, I didn't have a job, so I can't.
You'll have to do a separate like criteria for videos, otherwise you'll never get to interview Andy Gray. You really, you need those videos around.
All right, how about this? We'll do first or second, or if you make like top 8 with Zatsu or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You gotta if you played something spooky, then
Yeah,
sure.
if you play something spooky, you make top 8, or if you get first or second, that'll be the requirements to get an interview. So.
Yeah. That was like one of my biggest pet peeves. People back on Verbing would be posting their Verzion Genesect list, and it was like 58, the 58 cards that everyone's list was, and just like went 6-2-1 at regionals, made day 2. Just like, ooh, congrats, dude.
Alright guys, well hopefully everybody enjoyed this video. Good luck this weekend at States. If you're going to Mississippi, I'll see you there, but I don't know how many people from Mississippi or from this video will be in Mississippi, so that's the real question.
I think it's just me and him.
I mean,
Yeah.
because like as you see, Jake doesn't have internet at his house. He had to use his cell phone, so anything.
I'll come down. I'll just drive to Memphis on Thursday or something. And go
I can
to
use my big
Yeah.
computer for other things, just not for a face cam.
That sounds weird. Alright, but thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck to everybody. Thanks for everybody for joining. Have a great day. Alrighty, bye. There we go.